This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everybody. This is Jim Marshall. I am the moderator here for the Veteran Support Group run through the AnCan Foundation. And I would like to thank our sponsor. The video part of this is funded by Johnson & Johnson, and hopefully they will continue to support us, and I thank them very much, along with the AnCan Foundation. And today is August, yeah, August the 5th. Oh my God, summer is progressing along. So anyway, we have a few folks on, and Cosley, my man, you said that you had a question to ask, and you're,
Yes, sir. I
oh, okay,
do. Um,
yeah,
Over the past several months, I've noticed that I've been hearing things, and so I was referred by my primary care to see an audiologist at
mm-hmm,
the VA. And what I'm hearing sounds like, I call it insects, and someone said to me, "Well, your hearing sounds like cicadas," and I didn't really associate. But anyway, at the end of the day, I went to the audiologist, and she found that she calls it a ringing, and did the hearing test and found that I have some diminished hearing capacity.
okay.
Subsequently, she's prescribed a pair of hearing aids for me, so I've joined the elite hearing aid wearing group. So
Okay.
the question I have, and I didn't pose this to the audiologist, I probably should have, is whether or not this is a covered deficiency by the VA, and is there any merit in trying to put a claim in for hearing loss? And I thought I'd ask you, since you're the absolute guru when it comes to things VA and claims.
Well, I wouldn't say I am the guru, just for the sake of the people that are listening. I'm a retired Army Air Force guy that also at the time I retired in 1990, I went to work for the feds, okay, as a government civilian. Back then they called us a double dipper. And I went to work in the Treasury Department and I worked IT. I was an IT guy way back in the beginning, and I worked with claims people a lot, doing Treasury claims for lost checks. Then I happened to move over to the Office of Personnel Management, and they do retirement claims for everybody retiring. So, as I said, I got very interested in the VA at the time that I applied for stage 4 incurable terminal metastatic prostate cancer, and I was told I was temporarily disabled by the VA. And so I really got interested in claims, and so I made a study of it, and turned out that most people do not understand the claims process. And this isn't a slight against anybody. The VA is quite good about health care and benefits, but not really communicating how to present your claim. So anyway, so uh, refresh my memory. How much are you disabled today um, within the VA?
Well, I'm being compensated at the rate of 100%.
Okay, so
My actual rating is for 70%, and then I get the 30% unemployability. So
so
I'm
you
getting
have the
full benefit.
TDIU. Well, actually, at this point, uh, you probably you could apply for hearing, which is, if you do get anything, it would be 10. And did she mention anything about the ringing in the ears might be possibly tinnitus?
I don't know that I don't know that she said it was, but I think that word was mentioned.
Okay, so that would be another 10. So if you were 70% and two tens, uh, that would get you up to 80%, but you'd still be 100 because of your TDIU.
Mm.
So the question is, um, over on the benefit side of the VA, because the VA is divided into two separate armies, air forces, navies, whatever you call them. On the healthcare side, you will still get all of the healthcare that you are entitled to for free. But over on the benefit side that pays you money, you would still get your 100%. Now, if at some point that they come back to you and want to assert that you could get a full-time job and you could do that and they drop you back down to 70, then it would be advantageous to put in for hearing and tinnitus. But other than that, uh, the effort to do that, I don't see essentially the payoff.
Yeah, and I agree with that analysis because I'm being compensated 100%. So there's no increased compensation that would come my way. And as we've discussed before, I've always been hesitant to have anyone go and disturb my file. I don't want anyone looking at my file for any random reason at all.
Right.
Um,
There is a good thing because if you go back to the well within the 5 years, then they can possibly look at some previous things and schedule C&P exams and do another one and possibly downgrade certain items.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm out of the 5 year window. I'm substantially out of the 5 year window, but I just don't. I'm always hesitant to do anything like that. So
Oh,
if there's no merit in doing it, then I just as soon not fool with it.
yeah, I agree because, there really isn't any healthcare advantage because you're already getting that. There isn't. Now, there is, depending upon if under circumstances and mixtures of disabilities, a person can get more than 100% money, but I don't believe you are even close to that.
Yeah,
So, yep. So it sounds like you have a good choice. So just get your hearing aid and see what happens. Okay?
absolutely, yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else to ask?
Not at this juncture.
Okay. Okay, Jay, let's talk about prostate cancer and the VA because that's a very popular thing. I would say probably about 30 to 40% of the veterans that I've helped are getting prostate cancer because of Agent Orange or the burn pits or exposure to toxic materials. So, what's your question, if you have any, or
Well,
let's
not
talk
really for
about it?
question. I think initially I put my paperwork in about 2 weeks ago for that 1 year, hey, intent to file. And I
Okay.
went to Genesis to see if I could find my medical records, but they don't, Genesis did not have anything pre-prostate cancer. They had
Well,
everything.
that's probably, well, I don't know. Now, as a part of the claim that you put in, did you supply them with the medical records or did you just point them at a
No,
military?
actually, I went to uh, the website and the DD. Actually, I went and got a DD form 2870 and and sent it to the Alexander T. Augusta Military Medical Center. I think it used to be,
Okay.
I can't, I think it was one time Fort Belvoir.
Okay.
And I requested and you can request your inpatient and outpatient records. So I
Right.
went,
Okay.
I sort of went maybe a 5-year window, although it
Okay.
wasn't in that 5-year window, just to make sure to see what else they had. And then once I get all that information together, I'll probably reach out to you and say, hey, how do you go forward? Because initially I didn't know I could file for prostate cancer regarding the VA.
Okay. Now, let me just ask a question or two. Are you covered under the PACT Act? Do you know?
I mean, if I was deployed to Iraq and during that
Yes.
time, oh yeah, it's in my record
Oh,
and
okay.
Saudi Arabia.
So in essence, in the VA world, you had boots on the ground. In other words, you
Yes.
landed, jumped off the airplane, and your two boots hit the ground, and now you are covered as far as being in Southwest Asia, all
Yes.
of the garden spots, Somalia and Iraq and Kuwait and UAE, Uzbekistan, and all those great. Okay, so now, have you actually filed the claim? In other words,
I put in the intent to file.
okay, so all that you did, which is good, the intent to file you put in will establish the pay date back to when you will be paid. Now, I take it, um, are you trying to figure out what treatment you will use, or have you already had your treatment, whatever you chose?
Yes, I've already chose to have it
You
removed.
and has the surgery happened yet?
Oh yes, it definitely has already
W-
happened.
When did the surgery happen?
About 2 years ago.
Oh, so okay, so it's long past. Okay, so uh, what's going to happen out of all it? And are you currently rated today in the VA for anything?
Yes,
You are. And how much are you rated for?
80%.
What?
80%.
80%. Okay, so okay, now to for the claim, the thing that you'll need is to have proof, first of all, that you have or you had prostate cancer, which means essentially a biopsy report would be sufficient. Or if you had the surgery report, that would be sufficient to say, by golly, I had it. Okay? So do you
Oh,
have your hands on either one of those?
I had it. That's why I'm requesting the information back from
Ah,
Fort Belvoir. I had it, and I hid it from myself.
but you hid it from yourself? How do you hide it? Okay, so in the scheme of things, since it's been more than probably a year, at least a year from your surgery, what is going to happen? The VA is going to rate you on residual effects. You are not going to be 100% during your treatment because at this point, I take it your treatment's over with. In other words, you had the surgery, you then went for 1 year getting a PSA test every 3 months, checking that puppy, and everything looked good. And at the
Uh,
end of the year, they sort of blessed you and cast you out into the world, and hopefully getting a PSA test every 6 months.
yes, it was every 6 months. Actually, initially, it was every 6 months. And even when they tell me go to a year, I'm still going to go every 6 months.
Well,
So,
actually, the guidance is every 6 months
oh, okay.
because uh, what your experience, even though a lot of the doctors will say, oh, you're cured. No, you
Mm-mm.
are in what is called a durable remission.
Mhm.
And in some of the groups that I'm in for the prostate cancer world, they have, guys that come back at 3, 6, 8, 11, 13, 17, and 21 years later. All of a sudden, the PSA starts to rise and they don't even have a prostate. So, as I said, the 6 month is good. Okay, now, so the thing that we need to do is to prepare you for the C&P exam for the prostate. And what happens when you go into any C&P exam, what they're going to do, unbeknownst to you, they are going to fill out a form. And on that form, there are questions that normally you have no clue what they are going to ask you. Well, guess what? Those forms are out there publicly on the VA site that nobody's told you about, and they're called defined benefit questionnaires. And what you can do is to just do a simple Google on VA space DBQ, and you'll see a website that says VA public DBQs. And you just open that up, and then there's a big list of them for knees and hands and spine and diabetes, and there's one called reproductive. In the old days, it was called prostate cancer, but then they learned that the women were starting to carry guns, shoot at people, making the enemy very angry, and they'd shoot back at them. And there was a possibility that they could get wounded in their private parts area. So they changed the form name to reproductive issues and genitourinary. That's the form that they are going to use when they bring you in to start asking the questions. Now, the answers, the possible answers for the prostate, it'll go something like this. By the way, Jay, how many times do you get up in the middle of the night to pee? And you go, what? And you go, let me think here. Well, it turns out that if you answer 1 to 2 times a night, you will get rated at 20%. If you say 3 to 4 times a night, you'll get 30%. If you say 5, 6, or greater, you'll get 40%. Not that you should lie, but you should understand this. Then another question they will ask you is, how many pads do you go through in a day? Now, a day meaning a 24-hour day, not a waking day. And these are the pads that you put into the underwear, or what is called now, the political accepted name of a diaper is called Depends. Okay, and if you say, like, I forget if it's 5 to 6 or 6 to 7, you get 60%. Okay, now, as I say, I don't coach anybody to lie, but you should be prepared. What they don't tell you, or they don't brief you, is over what period of time should this, how many times a night that you pee, be measured over? Well, like a week? Should it be 2 weeks? 3 weeks? Should it be a month? Should it be the average number? Should it be the maximum number? Nobody ever tells you this, and they won't. It's just, personally speaking, it is my choice that says, look, the military caused you these issues. Therefore, to me, if it was me, I would do the maximum, the worst case over a month. Because obviously you'll have good nights and you'll have bad nights. And should you get paid for the average, or should you get paid for the worst? I think you ought to get paid for the worst. So that's a personal choice that you'll should be prepared for. So that's the way that that will fly. Now, out of it all, another thing that at the time we stick in the claim, and I will be happy to help you because your claim, I've probably done five or six exactly like yours because it's exactly the same. My philosophy is I try to present a claim, or I think anybody should present the claim from the perspective of thinking about the person that has to adjudicate your claim. In other words, the reviewer. They are the one that will determine how much money you get. And the easier you make it on that person thinking about them, then the more time they have in a day to do other people's work, because a claims person generally has a quota. I don't know in the VA if they have to do 2 claims a day, 3 claims a day, 4 claims, or 5. But the less amount of time they do it on your claim because you've made it so clear and so easy and you've covered all the bases and you have bulletproofed it, then they will hopefully smile on you and grant you. Now, Jay, once you were treated, did they prescribe to you any drugs that you have to take periodically?
They did, but I didn't need any codeine or anything like that. Uh,
Well, is there anything like Viagra or
yes,
Cialis?
Cialis.
Okay, now, because we are putting in this on a sworn statement, that's another thing I'll explain shortly. That needs to be divulged. Well, an ordinary civilian looking at the word Viagra, what does that imply? You're getting it on. Where
Yeah,
once it's removed, you're not getting it on.
that was
So,
the OJ.
right. In that description of the drugs that you take, uh, I go to excruciating detail to admit the fact that you're on it, but the medical reason, because of your prostatectomy, is blood flow into the penis. It's not for erections and all of that stuff. So I explain that to make sure that all of a sudden they see Viagra and they think, hey, the guy's okay now, no problem at all. So as I say, I do that. Now,
Okay.
because of your surgery, there is a second disability that you can apply for that you've actually earned, which is secondary to the prostate cancer. And that's called loss of use of creative organ. Now, that is not a rated disability like 10%, 20, 30. That goes over to the special monthly compensation is a separate payment structure for people that have lost legs, arms, uses of things, etc., etc. That one just so happens starts about $40,000 and goes up to, last time I looked, $119,000 a year, and they earned it because they are really messed up. So over there, there's this thing called loss of use of creative organ, not to be confused with ED, because if any veteran claims ED, that's dysfunction. What we have is, I coined the phrase malfunction. We don't have ED, we've got EM, but that isn't a VA term. What the correct term is loss of use of creative organ, and that's claimed as a secondary disability blamed on the prostate cancer treatment that you had, in other words, the prostatectomy. And that one is a flat payment of $136.06 a month, recurring every month. So as I said, you would apply for that one. So out of it all, if you were 80% now, do you know if you're like 75% rounded to 80, or are you like 83 rounded down to 80? Offhand, Jay.
Round it down to 80.
So you're actually what, about 80, 83, 84?
Yeah, because when I added it all up, I thought I was like 110%, but it was only
Oh,
like
no. It's called VA math. Okay. Now, do you have any disabilities? I'm just curious that you are getting bonus points for. In other words, bilateral.
not that I'm aware of.
Okay, let me go through this because we got a lot of time and people. Okay, the VA divides the body into the upper half and the lower half. Okay, if you have one disability on the left side of the body and one disability on the right side of the body, then you are entitled to, you take the disabilities of those two, you figure out what they do, add them together, and then tack on a 10% bonus. So, and then you do that for the upper part of the body, and you always take the greater of any disability. So it could be a hip, a left hip, and a right foot. It could be a left elbow and a right shoulder. And you figure out those first before you start figuring anything else. So it's just something to keep in mind, because if you're like 83 and you get like a 30%, that's going to kick you up over 85 for sure, but probably a little bit less than 90. So that will help you out. But then I should say you should look around. I got a question. Did you ever get a disability for GERD offhand?
No.
Okay. Because there's a sleeper behind GERD that is worth 40%. But anyway, so, okay. So, how soon do you think that you'll have your,
It takes approximately 30 days.
oh,
So
okay.
I would say I'm probably around 25 more days.
Okay, the thing that you can do is when you get that, how about to send it to me and I will do a draft on the narrative. Now, point of chase on the narrative. Generally, the VA uses this form VBA 21-4138, and it's just a general form that has got, let me think here, it has two or one or two blank boxes covering the entire page. Colonel Boykin, you got a question or hand up?
Yes, I had a comment.
Okay.
I wanted to say, Jay, for establishing your presumption for the PAC Act stuff, your DD 214 should have a campaign medal that says like Iraq or Afghanistan, and you need that as well as your medical documentation, as Jim mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I added in my initial uh, statement to the VA, so they have it in my records. So whenever I get my statement back regarding the 80%, it
Right.
has it up there up front.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You just want to make sure that's there for this. That's all.
Okay.
Right. A DD 214 unless something's changed on it, you only have to submit once.
Right. And then they
Or
take it from there.
Right.
and then it's already on the file along with the bank account information and all of that stuff.
Okay. I just have one quick question, and I
Oh,
think
okay.
I'm good. Uh, it's kind of ironic. I always look at it, and then sometimes God will give you something bad, but it'll turn to something good. Because initially, I got diagnosed as being diabetic, and that's how I found out I had prostate cancer because I had got my A1C down to like a 5.4, so I was really proud of myself. So I just went back in and just say, "Can you check it again?" When they checked it again, they say, "Hey, your PSA is kind of high." And I would have known because I had no symptoms regarding prostate. It was just one of those ironic twists that happened. And uh, and let me just say, I don't know if anybody else, but once the doctor came back and said you had cancer, I became temporarily discombobulated because
Yep.
I
Oh,
just couldn't
absolutely.
believe that word that came up for me. And, and uh, and I laughed because the first thing I asked was, "How long do I have?" So
Right.
it was just that was my first question and my only question. You know,
Well, it's true for a lot of us. I mean, in my case, I had no clue, and through a CT scan and a uh, two inflamed lymph nodes in the back, they thought I had a gastro problem. I had infection within a gastro tract. Well, after they did all kinds of things up and down and scoped me and everything else, they were scratching their heads. So then essentially a biopsy later, they dropped the bomb on me and I had no symptoms and tracked back and figured I probably had it for close to 3 years. And I was getting the PSA test and all the numbers looked good. And so there's a whole story I wrote up about that. Anyway, getting back to the form I use. Okay. The, okay, as I said, there is a VBA 21-4138, which is a generalized form. You can just write them. And in fact, I submitted one yesterday. I looked at my pay amount that I'm supposed to be getting. I looked at the pay amount that I actually am getting, and there was a difference of $58.60. So I wrote him a question. I put it on to a VBA 4138, uh, showed him all of the statements and the proof, and printed it off, signed it, scanned it back in, and quick submitted it to the VA. Now, on claims, as I said, I have been studying claims people, and also I knew a person who was a VA claims processor, and I tried to get her on to this one, but she has this thing that she thinks veterans lie our asses off. That's her thing after about 40 years in the VA, and I can understand why she feels that because there's a lot of money that we get, and who knows if it's all justified. So instead of using that form, I prefer to create the claim as a what is called a lay statement. And it's a VBA 21-10210, a 210, 10210. And this is actually a sworn statement, a legally binding sworn statement under penalty of law. Okay, which means if you lie on this thing, there's a potential they can take you to court and send you to jail. Costly.
I just have a quick question as a matter
Okay.
of curiosity. This person who thinks veterans lie their asses off, is she a veteran herself or is she just a civilian employee at the VA?
She's a civilian employee that
That's right.
started out
Of
as a
course.
GS4 in Texas, I won't say where,
Of
worked
course.
her
Of
way up
course.
through all of the positions helping vets, got to like a GS12, which is equivalent to a captain in Texas. And she said, I want a 13, which is a major. And they said, there are no 13s. You will have to come to Washington. And she did. And she was on
Well, I
the,
was just wondering what her qualifying factors were to make that determination, and you've explained it all.
because she had worked with veterans extensively, done claims
Of
over
course.
her close to 40 years, and did everything. I'm pretty sure she did reviews, she did everything looking at things. And so, as I said, she came here, and I used to ride with her on the metro for close to 3 years, okay, into DC, and we would get off at the same stop, and I would walk down uh, 20th, no, 19th Street or 18th Street, and she would go into the VA, and I would continue on into OPM. And so, as I said, she was a very interesting person. And honestly, even I've bumped into some vets that are stretching it, that have learned how to play the game, and maybe may not be entitled to everything that they say that they are, that they have. I don't know. So, as I said, in the other form, in just in case anybody has, the VA adjudicator has that, maybe if they look at you and you're professing this stuff on a sworn statement under penalty of law, they may say, oh, maybe this person is telling us the truth. So, as I said, it's just something I came up with as a perception wise, and everything I've done has been on a sworn statement, and the people that I help, it's a sworn statement. So that's the form. And also I have um, a template that I use to construct and with a narrative. Okay, Dr. Ed, I see that you have joined us. Thank you very much. Haven't seen you in a while, but I will get to you shortly because the next one up is Joseph, who just put his hand up anyway.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Uh, uh, Bouncing off of what Jay said,
sure.
I have got a hold of you about filling out the claim. I started it online, but
Hmm,
I didn't not quite know the verbiage. Now,
okay,
I'm going to go see Dr. Chestnut on the 22nd for my, I
okay,
think it's an 8-week checkup,
okay.
and
Yeah,
he's supposedly giving me my pathology report from the tumor that was on the
right.
prostate to
Yes.
give me all the things. Should I wait for all that before
Yes,
submitting
I
the final
would,
claim?
personally speaking, I do not subscribe to filling a claim out online,
Mm-hmm.
because what can happen accidentally, if you accidentally submit the 526 prematurely,
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden there's a clock that starts, and
Okay.
you cause, and if you submit it like that online, it will go in as a standard claim, not a fully developed claim.
Okay. I haven't. I've stopped at that point where they want me to
Good.
describe the
Just
things. So I haven't submitted.
right. Good.
Okay.
At the time that you get prepared to do this,
Mm-hmm.
um, let me know, and we can shortcut the issues real quick here.
Okay.
Because the thing that you've got now, okay, let's go into the weeds, because you're an actual patient.
Mm-hmm.
So you had it, or you had the prostatectomy, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. From that date, the VA's going to Well, in their guidance, anybody that has surgery, it doesn't make any difference what kind,
Hmm.
they will allow you 6 months to heal at
Hmm.
100% temporary. Now, what you are facing now is that even though they did the prostatectomy and it looked good and they think they got everything, they don't really know for sure.
Hmm.
And it isn't a slight against Chestnut or a Steve. So what should be happening is that for your treatment plan will continue, and it
Oh
will
yeah.
say, hopefully, that every 3 months you will get a PSA test,
Hmm.
okay, as a part of your treatment plan. Now, that's going to conflict at the 6 month point when the VA is going, well, okay, it looks like his surgery's over with, and they may call you for a C&P exam.
Hmm.
Okay, now, if we don't explain all this stuff in the claim, in other words, in excruciating detail that the treatment plan says you have surgery and then every 3 months we get a PSA test, which means your treatment continues for at least 1 year
1 year. Okay.
and contingent upon the fact that at the end of that year your PSA looks good, then that will be the opportune time to then downgrade you. And that will be the time to call you in for the C&P exam to ask you the questions of how many times a night do you get up to pee?
Hmm.
And then how many pads do you go through? That would be the time. Okay. And so is uh, that we could do, as I say, I have a number of them that I did that, practically mirrors yours. So I can do a draft on that. Now, are you covered under the PACT Act?
Yes, I was Digistorm back in 90,
Oh, okay.
92. Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, okay, and do you have any existing VA disabilities today?
Yes, I have 100%.
Oh, you're all okay now.
Mhm.
Now, okay. So you're already now, is that 100% that you had prior to the prostate cancer, is that
Yes,
an accumulation of a lot of ones, or is that one big one and a few small ones, or how does it
it's
work?
a lot of accumulations of it,
Okay, now,
tendonitis, PTSD,
okay. Do
all
you
kinds of stuff.
have one in that accumulation which is 60% standalone?
Hmm.
Yes.
Oh,
Or
oh,
no?
yes.
You
I
do
was
have
trying to pull
one.
up my VA. I was trying to pull up my VA
Okay.
app here, and my password wasn't working. I was trying to get in while you guys were talking.
Okay.
But yes,
Okay.
I do have one with the 60%.
Which means that when you are awarded this 100% temporarily disabled, you will qualify for special monthly compensation. Remember, I said there are the two sides. There is the 10, 20, 30, 40, 100%
Yeah.
on the left side. Then over on the right side, there is all this loss of use of stuff.
Hmm.
Well, in that loss of use provisions, there is, it's called, each of those provisions are a subsection. There's a subsection L, subsection N, subsection K. Well, there's one called subsection S, okay? And it says that if you have one that is 100%, and you will, but it be
Hmm.
100% temporary, and you have one that is 60%, you are entitled to subsection S, which says, and there are like a couple of parts which causes me confusion.
Hmm.
It's loosely called housebound,
Housebound.
but you could be housebound and get this, but there's also says that if you've got one that's 100 and one that's 60, you are entitled to subsection S, or you've got one that's 100%, which you do. You have a little one, which is 40. And if you take all of the other little ones besides the 40 and they add up to 70, you now are entitled to subsection S money. And this is about an extra $525 or so a month on top of your 100%. Then, as you heard with Jay, because you had a prostatectomy, you also are entitled to loss of use of creative organ.
Yeah, I wrote
And
that
are
down. Okay.
you married?
Yes.
Okay. I get those today because I've got 3 that are 100%ers.
Mhm.
Okay. And one little one, which is 10.
Hmm.
So that's about 46.88 a month or so. Don't quote me exactly on 88 part, but it's
Mhm.
which comes out to be about 56 something a year. Okay, now, so are do you know if okay, so since you don't have, so you said you don't have one that's 100% before the prostate cancer?
Let's count the PTSD.
Okay, the PTSD, is it 100
I do believe it
standalone?
is. Standalone, yes.
Oh, it is.
I think it is.
So you should be already getting SMC.
No, no.
Uh,
Okay. No, I'm not getting that. Then I think it's like that may be the 61 you're talking
oh,
about. Okay.
okay. So as I said, now the thing that once the claim is filed and you are awarded this, I don't know if there's anything else which you might be able to apply for.
Okay.
Because now if you're 100%, are you also rated 100% permanent and total?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. Well, that would be the gist of what. So as I said, if you would, at the time that you go to start that, all that you need is probably well, actually, the thing that you should get is the biopsy report.
Mhm.
Okay. Because that will, and I take it you did the intent to file shortly after you were told that you have it?
Yes, that's what I
Okay,
was talking to you
because
about.
so you had the biopsy, then you
Mhm.
did the intent to file, and then at some point you have done with the surgery. So your 100% is going to start when you did the intent to file,
Okay.
but
Yeah, they got the day that I started. Yes, on the
but
claim.
you'll need the biopsy report to prove that
Okay.
when on that date you did the intent to file, you had been diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Yes.
And that will start the 100%. So actually, you'll get probably more than a year out of the 100% with SMC.
Okay.
And then, as I said, a year plus a few months down the road, they will want to downgrade you.
Okay.
And you heard about, the 1 to 2 times a night, and
Hmm.
1 to 2 20, 3 to 4, 30, 5
Yeah.
to 6,
Yeah.
all of that
Ads
stuff.
and stuff. All right.
Okay,
All right.
great.
Well, thanks. As soon as I get that from Dr. Chin, Chestnut, we'll get
Yeah,
that
yeah.
going.
Get a hold of me and I can do a draft on it, and
Okay.
then you can fill in all of the details. And the thing is, um, you will be submitting your own form
Okay.
or your own claim, because it's quite easy to do using Quick Submit.
Quick submit. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that under the VA?
Well, actually, no. Well, see, let me just go into that shortly, but I want to jump over to Dr. Ed.
Yeah, no problem.
You
Thank you, though.
joined us. How are things going? I want to get an update. Are you in Colorado now, or are you still here? You are muted.
No, there.
Ah,
should
there
be
we
better.
go.
Yeah, I am in Denver, living in an
Oh,
Airbnb for right now.
oh, wow.
Yep, house is sold, house is gone. Girlfriend threw me out, starting a
Oh,
new
what?
life. Yep,
Oh, okay. So you're out in Denver, I
just
take it.
remember the hot crazy curve.
Oh, okay.
Hot crazy.
Right. Hot crazy. So are you thinking about staying out there and
Oh no,
taking
this is permanent. This is
this is
permanent.
permanent? Well, you should get a hold of, I don't know if you like backpacking in the summertime up
Not until
in
I get
the,
the hip done.
what?
Not until I get the hip done.
Right,
I
right. But
waved off the hip at Walter Reed
okay,
uh, in August because I had no one to take care of me back there.
right.
And so I packed up what little I had, and my son and I drove from uh, Virginia to Denver in 2 days.
Oh, wow.
And I'm still trying to recover.
Oh, yeah. But as I say, up to the north, going into the Rockies through Boulder, there is a stretch up there called, and we're the Mummy Range, and there's a high lake, Browns Lake, which is like fantastic, beaver ponds and everything else. It was a great experience.
Good.
Okay, great, great, great.
Yeah, and at
Sylvester,
some point in time, Jim, I'm going to want to talk to you about trying to get more than 70%.
yep, you,
I think there were several things that they did that they said are still deferred, and now they're telling me that I don't have any claims into process. So
well, deferred means they are, the way I understand deferred means that there wasn't enough evidence submitted, and what they are want is generally a supplemental.
okay, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
right. That was the thing I finally figured out after I helped a couple of folks. Sylvester, my man, how
Yes,
you doing there?
I'm doing good, and I
Yep,
hope everybody else is doing well.
yep. Sylvester is a retired VA employee, and he's here to provide his expertise. Okay, let's see. I should have wrote something down because I had a topic to talk about, and all of a
Hey
sudden
Jim, I had
now,
a
yeah,
quick question.
sure,
I was enrolled at the Washington VA hospital,
right,
and so I need to transfer here to Denver,
yep,
and they have no military health care here other than filling prescriptions, which is good. Over at Buckley Space Force Base.
yes, I was there when it was the birth of Space Force.
Yeah, and
Uh,
actually, I was involved a lot with some of the space cadets, and I saw some very qualified guys not get rank because of a bunch of fighter pilots running around.
Yep.
And I
Oh,
think I think the Space Force, except it should be the Space Corps, is a pretty good idea.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. I was in it in the very, very beginning for a number of years and trained. But anyway, now
Anyway, I need to transfer to Denver. How do I do that?
I would just go to the VA hospital, which I think they took over the military hospital there, right? I forget the
They
name
said
of it.
it was a brand new facility.
Oh, so they built a new one. They aren't using the previous
The one from the other base that was here,
Simmons.
Lowry.
Lowry. Yeah, the Lowry's all been sold off.
Right. Lowry was sold off, Buckley, but the Fitzsimmons was the name of the hospital there. But okay, hopefully they did build a new VA hospital there. I would just go in to the VA hospital there and get yourself a primary care doc and all of that stuff, and you should be good to go. And I don't know how they transfer the records, but
I think
wonder,
everything's electronic now.
yes.
Rocky Mountain Regional VA Medical Center.
Ah, okay, that's okay. Quite interesting.
Yeah. We're by 2:25. So that will be another day of exploring tomorrow.
Yep. And then maybe by the time you get the hip finished, you can go ski on the slopes. No, maybe.
I don't think you're gonna.
No, yeah, right. But
I might do it once to say that I've done it. That's
you can go to the slopes and stay in the lodge with all of the ski bunnies, as we used to call them.
Yep.
Okay, Carly, do you have anything? Not that we skipped over you, but you're still muted. If you're having trouble with your mic, okay, up in the right-hand corner there is what looks like a wheel. And if you click on that, it will show you what you've selected for a microphone and a camera. I think it's a camera. Microphone and speakers. So if you can unmute, that would be good. Nope, you still haven't. Well, anytime that you can unmute, jump in. I take it everybody got the reminder, right? And oh, Dan.
Yeah, I just have a quick one. You guys have been talking.
Good. Yeah,
I have
good.
I have my first VA appointment coming up in about a week and a half.
Oh,
and
good.
If there's any suggestions on things to do, not to do. Already had my blood work done. Everything looked pretty good. But first time getting a PCM for the VA. So looking forward to any advice.
Okay, so you're talking about a medical appointment or a C&P appointment?
No, medical appointment.
A medical appointment. Well, it'll be the same as you would go in to any doctor. So you are going to go see your primary care doc for the first time?
Yes.
Now, at that point in time, the thing that, okay, I take it that you are signing on to www.va.gov, right?
Yeah, I've done all of that. I already got my appointments. I've already had the
and you are into My Healthy Vet, right?
No, I'm not into any of those things right now.
Well, Okay, at the time you sign on to now www.va.gov, either using id.me or login.gov,
Right.
and it just so happens the login.gov is the same login.gov that you'd use for Social Security. So are you using id.me or login.gov?
I think I'm using ID.me.
Okay, fine. That's fine. So you go in there and you go to the website www,
Yep.
and across the top you'll see something about claims, all, but over in the right corner there is a thing called My Healthy Vet. Okay, that is now the road to get into the healthcare side of the VA. All of the other stuff that you click on is then over on the benefit side, but they finally uh, combine the two because it used to be there was two separate sites. There was the www.va.gov and there was the other one was called My Healthy Vet.
Hmm.
But now okay, so now if you click on that My Healthy Vet, it'll take you into the healthcare side of the VA. Now, the thing that when you go into the primary care doc for the first time, um, tell him or her that you need access to the blue button. The blue button is the secure email system, and you probably already have it to talk to the primary care doc. But what you probably don't have is permission to send an email to like urology or oncology or uh, gastroenterology or dermatology or any of those folks. What that primary care doc can do is to give you access to be able to electronically communicate via email to those clinics.
Okay. I'm
So,
looking at it right now. As you were talking, I was signing on, and I'm
okay,
there. And my appointment is in there.
okay, your appointment's in there now. Um, in the My Healthy Vet, go to the place where you can um, send an email or communicate.
Start a new message.
Yes, just open it up, and there should be a list of the clinics that you will have access to.
I don't have any.
No, well, you have one. Well, hopefully you have one that says to the primary care provider, or
Negative.
if you,
It says,
or
uh, yeah, it just says only use messages for non-urgent needs.
right.
Care team maybe every 3 days. Continue to start message. If you need help, call. So, oh, you're talking about beyond that. General issues, COVID, appointment request, medication, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
how about to try to start a message and there'll be like an address like
Okay.
two, and
Yeah.
hopefully there is the primary care provider, whoever it is.
Yeah. There's a drop down box, but yeah, my PCM is not on there. It's just a list of
Okay,
questions,
so
pharmacy, BT, eligibility, blah, blah, blah.
okay, so at this point in time, your primary or you haven't really been given access to the blue button. The blue button will be the ability to send a secure email to your primary care provider, who is the gatekeeper for everything. Anything you need has got to go through the primary care provider unless you already have access. Like with me, I have access to the primary care, but I'm also in the urology clinic.
Mm.
So I can communicate with my oncologist in the VA
Okay.
directly. So just think of any clinics that you may need access to, and hopefully the person will then grant you access and also bring sort of a history of your medical needs and the drugs you are taking, etc.
Yep.
And it'll probably run about a half an hour, at least half an hour to 40 minutes. And the person will be madly keying in all of your information.
Okay. Super.
Then after that, the only thing that you have to do to stay current is they will put you on like a 1 year appointment schedule. You just check in
Yeah.
once a year and you're good.
Okay. Oh, that's great. I appreciate it. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, so that's the way it works there.
Okay.
And it works pretty well, actually.
Very good. I appreciate it. That's all I had.
Okay, Frank, you have your hand up.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I was thinking you and I talked offline, and as I
okay.
was listening to some of these conversations, I'm filing for the fully developed case for the prostate cancer, and
Yep,
I'm
yep,
looking
yep.
to do active surveillance. But
Okay.
we also talked briefly about VA healthcare,
Okay.
and I'm wondering if I wanted to apply, I guess, or ask for VA healthcare. When would be the right time to do that? Do you do that as part of the?
Um, Wait, apply. Okay, at the time that you put in the claim, okay, I take it you are covered under the PACT Act, right?
Yes, I was in Vietnam
Okay,
on the
so
ground.
the thing that, okay, what a person can do, e- even if they've got no disabilities whatsoever. Let's say, Frank, you were in perfect health. Probably, yeah, a stretch, but let's say you were in perfect health. Right now, because of TARA, toxic exposure risk activity, you're entitled to 100% free VA healthcare without even a rating. That's healthcare, not money.
Right.
Money's on the benefit side. This is healthcare. And there would be this separate form to fill out, a VA 10-10-10-10 EZ form that would go to the healthcare people that would award you healthcare. Now, at the time anybody now puts in a claim after March the 5th of 2024, that claim will be automatically not only evaluated for money benefits, but it will also be evaluated for TARA. And in fact, on the eventually determination anybody gets, generally on page 2, there's a list of the evidence they used. In other words, the list of the forms that you submitted, and in there, most people or the people who are entitled will see a statement says TARA memorandum has been created. This means you have been awarded 100% free VA healthcare. So as soon as we submit the claim, and yours should be very, very easy to do if you're going to go on to active um, um, surveillance, because all you'll need is your biopsy report, and probably what would be good to get is a statement out of the doctor saying that you are currently, your treatment plan entails active surveillance for the foreseeable future. When that gets adjudicated and it gets awarded, you'll have 100% free VA healthcare. Now,
So that
if you, but
so that comes if the case is approved, then the VA healthcare comes with that at that time.
Well, in your case, there's no question the case is approved because you are Agent Orange. That is presumptive. The VA's already said if you had boots on the ground, you had boots on the ground. You get prostate cancer. Ipso facto, it was caused by your military service and it is a presumptive disease. It's automatic.
Okay.
No questions asked. No ifs, ands, or buts. You have service connection.
So I'm just trying to make sure I understand. So
Okay.
when I submit the claim and then it
Right.
gets, I use the word approved, then the health care will come with that.
Yes, it will be on record. Now, although as I said, all of a sudden you go, well, look, I want to submit the request for healthcare right now. In other words, tomorrow. You could do that form 1010 EZ and mail it off to wherever they say to do it because it's not, you don't use the quick submit and it would go to the healthcare side of the VA. And since on the form there is a place for Agent Orange, then they would create the Terra memorandum for you and you would then be entitled to the healthcare. But if it isn't like the fact that you need the health care now, absolutely, or if you can wait for like 2 months or 3 months to have it in place, then I would suggest that it's a lot easier. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand. Okay, that helps a lot. Thanks.
Okay, now, is there going to be any other things that you could apply for, diabetes or any other ailment that you might be entitled to?
There could be down the road, but
Okay,
I think you and I talked and we were just going to defer those for now.
right, because it's fairly straightforward to put in for active surveillance. You get that in place, you get it awarded, and you start collecting your 100% temporarily disabled, which if you're married, it's like 42 something, 33 a month.
Correct.
Then after that, if you would like to go back and to address other issues just to get them in place, because eventually you may get treated or there is Gary Tosca now has been on active surveillance for 11 years now. So
Right.
that would be a game plan.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
And Rick Davis just arrived. Rick, how are you doing? Rick is the founder of the AnCan and the person that engineered this veteran support group, and we thank him very, very much for encouraging Johnson & Johnson to support us. Okay, Rick, um, do do you have any words for us, or
No,
he he
nothing
is
special, nothing special. Just hello to everybody. I see a couple of new names here, which is great. We
yes.
love new people in the group. I see Joseph found his way over to this group from the other group. So we had 5 people come into the other group who were in the wrong group, but only one was really for you. That
Oh,
was
okay.
Joseph. Well, and of course Sylvester was there, but Sylvester always starts off in the care partners and comes over here.
Oh, okay.
So yes, so it's nice, good to see everybody.
Okay, Willie Worthy. I'd like to introduce Willie to the group because Willie has expressed interest of becoming essentially a moderator and to try to understand the things that I do, which is great because I need a backup, and he did, but the only catch is he has a real job these days, so he's still working. So, Willie, do you have any questions or something to bring up? Cannot hear you. Okay, and the microphone says it's on, but we can't hear you. And he's scratching his head. He doesn't
So
know.
go up to the settings cogwheel at the top of the screen on the right. It's to the right of where it says 14, and click on that and make sure that the correct microphone is selected.
Although I think he's on a cell phone. So I don't know if those are the same.
I don't know. Now you're getting,
Okay.
but I will tell you that last night I had a lot of problems and finished up. I couldn't moderate a meeting, came into the other meeting late, but I think I got everything sorted out, but I
Right.
don't know for sure. I'll have to go in and out of a couple more meetings. What you can do is you can call GoTo and have them work you through it, which is what I did yesterday. You need patience. Um, you need a lot of patience. But let me put that number. Let me put that number in the chat. Hold on a minute. I'm just sending a note. I'm sending people have been sending me notes, so I'm sending notes back to them, and then I will take care of this. Okay. So let me put the GoTo assist number in here for you, and that will okay. Oh gosh. All right. Bear with me. Keep going, and I'll put it
Okay.
in. You keep going, and I'll put it in because I don't exactly know what happened here.
Okay.
Let me see.
Let's see. I think Cliff Collins has arrived. Well, he arrived and he left. AnCan Schmear Room has left the building. Cosley, you have your hand up.
Yeah, quick question, Jim. You
Yeah.
mentioned back to the special monthly compensation. Is there any danger in applying for that? I have not applied for it, and I probably asked this question before. Is there any danger in applying for that? Would they review your file or anything like that?
Well, actually, you don't really apply for it. What they do is to then evaluate the disability ratings that you have, and they look at the combination. So if, as I said, the first thing is you need one that's 100% standalone.
Okay.
And then the first option is you have a second one that is 60% or greater, which you can get. And then you are awarded SMC. Or you have one that's 100%, you have one that's at least 40%, meaning 40 or 50, and all of the little ones, including that one that is either 40 or 50, add up to 70%. And then you are awarded SMC. So it isn't something you apply for.
Oh, okay.
Or subsection S, SMC. Now, SMCK, which is loss of use of creative organ,
That's the
Yeah.
one I'm thinking of. That's the one I'm.
Oh,
That's the one I'm thinking. That's the one. I see. I'm not very articulate. That's the
oh,
one I'm
oh,
talking about.
oh. The K is no. You just apply for it, and if you've had prostate cancer treatment, radiation, or prostatectomy, it's automatic. And in fact, a lot of times, most guys that I've helped done that, and I'm right now helping a guy uh, do it right now. There isn't even a C&P exam. All that you've got is evidence that you already have a rating for prostate cancer, right? And uh, and because of the treatment, either the radical prostatectomy or the radiation will then qualify you
All right.
instantly.
Well, are you available for a private chat on that
Oh,
for
sure.
your assistance? When
Oh,
is a
yeah.
good time for me to reach out to you on that?
That would be on probably Thursday sometime,
Okay.
either Thursday or Friday.
Okay. All right.
And
I'll make a note, and I'd like to visit with you on Thursday,
yeah,
um,
okay.
and make sure just to follow through.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's a very simple one. I've done about 4 or 5 of them for vets either having a prostatectomy or radiation. And the other thing, are you taking either Viagra or Cialis?
Yeah, I have the 5 milligram.
Okay,
Yeah, well, I have both of them in my prescription, but I'm taking the 5 milligram Cialis at this moment.
no problem, because in the write-up for the any drugs you're taking, I go to excruciating detail to ensure they don't get the idea that you are using it to get it up and get it
Yeah.
on.
No, no, I have the maintenance five
Right,
milligram.
right, in the blood flow. So I explain that in excruciating detail just so they do not get the wrong idea. Sure.
Now, as a secondary question,
Okay.
I was reviewing my medical records several weeks ago, and I noticed that the, that it's noted in there that I have GERD, and
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
know before that it was there that GERD was the actual word is written in my medical records.
Now, is this your VA records or your military medical
No, no,
record?
no, my VA medical records.
Okay, well, now the next question is, what would be the service connection to the military?
Well, I don't know that there is, and I wouldn't, and I'm not representing that there is, but I
Oh,
just, see,
okay.
it just came up, it came to my thought process because you had mentioned it earlier
Ah,
earlier in the evening, and I didn't know that, I didn't know it was there.
okay. Well, if you've got GERD, do you also have hiatal hernia or uh, a SCHATZKI ring,
Is that a new
which is
disease? I never heard of that one either.
a stricture at the bottom of the throat that if you try to chew meat and swallow it, it can get stuck.
Oh,
No?
I don't know.
Right. And so uh, the thing that if you do have GERD and the next time that you are checked or you see your end, endocrinologist, or it may be done out of the gastro area, have them, when they go down and they put the scope down your throat, right, all the way down to the duodenum, and they are coming back up, ask them to check for Barrett's esophagus.
For what?
Barrett's esophagus. Dan, are you waving at me or Dan's got Barrett's
Oh,
esophagus.
I'm out. No, I'm just saying I'm tapping
Oh,
out.
oh,
Y'all have a
tapping
good
out.
night.
Okay. Luther, I will get to you shortly here because this is the one thing that if anybody's got GERD, Barrett's esophagus says that at the GERD acid, what happens, as it was explained to me by a doctor back in 2015, when he got all of the equipment in to treat Barrett's esophagus. The thing that happens, your acid comes up in the throat, damages esophageal cells. And when they are reproduced, they are no longer esophageal cells. He called them akin to stomach cells. And according to the VA, there is about a 15% chance that you'll develop cancer in the throat. Well, it turns out a diagnosis of Barrett's esophagus is a 40% flat rate. So, as I said, most people that have GERD and get checked for it, the doctors never stop coming back up with their scope and take a few samples out of your esophagus to see what kind of cells they are. Why? Because they don't have the equipment to treat it. And even if they can treat it, once it's all treated, one more or two more sessions of GERD and you're back with the Barrett's esophagus. I had 8 of them over a period of about a year and a half because the guy was real enthused because he just got all of the equipment in and he needed a guinea pig. And so I was the man. So anyway, as I said, that is a 40%. Luther, before I take you, I want to go
Anybody
back.
know the difference between Barrett's esophagus and intestinal dysplasia of the stomach?
Ooh, I think those are
Because
totally different.
everything you were talking about, I have.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have intestinal cells in my stomach.
Oh, no, right. Okay, so
And
intestinal cells, but these are supposedly stomach cells in the esophagus.
yeah, and I don't think anybody's checked that. They said
Right,
it was there in the stomach, and
right.
I'm due for a double dip here coming up real soon. And I'm wondering if I can ask to make sure that somebody takes those samples.
Oh, well, I wouldn't ask. I would tell them to do it because the chances with GERD, especially over in Nam at the time I was over there, you would, get the heaves over there pretty bad depending upon
Oh yeah,
how much you drank and how much you ate and what you ate. Yes. And that's where mine actually came from, I believe.
Hey Jim, I just looked at the internet and it says rating for Barrett's esophagus, often associated with GERD, can range from 10 to 80% disability.
Oh, okay. So at the time I looked at it, it was a flat 40. So I guess they've done some adjustments. So there
what
must
do
be
you mean
some
flat, Jim?
degrees. What?
What do you mean flat 40?
Well, actually, the only rating they showed for it was strictly 40. That was back a number of years ago. But Willie says that now they will rate it anywhere from 10 to 80. So I need to look up in how they rate to see what is a 10, a 20, a 30, a 40, etc., etc.
It also say with a stricture,
Right.
without a stricture, ratings can typically go from 10 to 30%.
Yes,
But yeah,
that's an SCHATZKI ring.
yeah. And Ed, what did you say you had intestinal? What was it?
Intestinal metaplasia of the stomach.
Ooh.
Which means some juice has been coming up
Okay.
into the stomach.
Okay. Just trying to get some literature here so I can start doing some research for Jim tell me.
Oh, good. Rick. Oh, wait. Luther. Luther, you have had your hand up now.
Yeah, Jim, I just want to go back to what Causley said early on in
Okay.
the meeting, not wanting to do anything that would cause a review of the records
Okay.
or another C&P exam. And I'm in a similar situation in that I was diagnosed and treated for prostate cancer back in 2016.
Okay.
Began the prostate journey. In 2019, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And I went
Okay.
back to my VSO because by then I had been paid at 100%, but rated at 90. And my question to the VSO was, or my concern was that if I die after, I think, being rated at 100%, there'd be compensation that my wife could achieve. He said to me, you know, you're at 100% now. Why do you want to poke the bear and perhaps cause another C&P exam or something else to look at it? And so I went with that, but I still had this nagging feeling that it may not have been the best choice for my wife. And frankly, my Parkinson's at the time it was evaluated was nowhere near what it is now. And the quality of life with Parkinson is much greater than prostate cancer.
Yeah, that's true. Now, um, you said that you're rated at 100%, but you're only getting paid at 90?
No, just the opposite. I'm being paid at 100, rated at 90.
Okay, so you must have invoked TDIU, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a thing about if you are 100% for 10 years, okay, then the wife is entitled to a pension.
I don't know that I'll make the 10 years, but in the event I did, it's this being rated at 100%, not just paid at 100%.
Well, have you gone on to www.va.gov, and in there, I just did that last night, and there's a place in there that will tell you when you were first rated at 100%. You know, I saw mine was like I was awarded 100% permanent and total in September of 2018. So for me to get to the 10-year point, I got to go until 2028.
So that's you're rated at 100%.
Yes.
Well, when you and Causley were talking, you mentioned a 5-year window.
Oh, now that is if you are going to, they can evaluate you for a downgrade, but your Parkinson's, you're not going to be downgraded because that's a progression that gets worse and worse and worse. And the prostate cancer, you had it, but now I take it you're in a durable remission, right?
Yes, I'm in a holiday right now from
Oh, wait.
home.
You're in a holiday, or are you
Oh,
stage 3, stage 4?
I'm metastatic stage 4.
Well, then you should be permanent and total
I am.
in the prostate cancer, 100%. But you said you are only rated 90.
Yes.
I don't understand that. So what's your rating for the prostate cancer?
I need to pull that document out.
So I take it you probably got a rating when you first were diagnosed. You got treated, they then downgraded you, and then along the way, you became stage 4. And at that point, did you ever go back in and update the VA that now you're stage 4 incurable, metastatic prostate cancer?
I don't believe I did.
Oh, we got to do that ASAP.
I need to pull my paperwork and make sure I'm giving you the correct answer.
Well, even if you're on a treatment holiday, now a treatment holiday meaning that you believe you'll be going back onto treatment at some point, right?
Correct.
Just like me.
Correct.
Yeah, well, we got some work to do to get you to 100% P&T, permanent and total. You're entitled to it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
But Jim, as a follow-up to what Luther just said, in his
Okay.
current status, he's 90% TNP with the TDIU of 10%, making him 100%.
Right.
If I'm 70% TNP with the TDIU making me 100%.
Yep. You can do
If I
that.
should kick the bucket tomorrow morning, where does that leave? I've been in this rating for more than 10 years. So if I should kick the bucket tomorrow morning, where does that leave my wife?
It depends. For you, because you're not 100% disabled, if you die of a service-connected disability and it's on the death certificate, she will be entitled to a pension of about $1,600 a year. But it's got to be service-connected.
Jim, is that 1,600 a year or a month?
Well, excuse me,
Month.
1682 a month. I'm sorry.
But if
Now,
if the death certificate doesn't recite that, then she's out in the cold.
now, are you also military retired?
No.
Okay, because there's a wrinkle if you're military retired and you are entitled to what is called Survivor's Benefit Plan. Okay, so that is like a military pension because you can't collect a VA DIC, which is what they've been, and collect military SBP at the same time. You have to choose one or the other. And there are some implications that I won't go into, but if anybody's interested, we can. I think I put that out in a reminder about a month or two ago about how exactly that works. Okay. Rick, you have your hand up.
I do. I just wanted to mention a couple of things about esophageal issues because they've come up recently, which you may not be aware of.
Okay.
Esophageal cells produce PSA and PSMA.
Ooh.
And I always knew they produce PSMA. That's why they show up in PSMA scans, and also why we have throat issues from people who get Pluvicto. I didn't know until recently that they actually produce PSA as well. And we are aware of instances where people have had very high PSAs as a result of esophageal cancer.
Oh.
So, and we're sort of looking at, not sort of, there are three AnCaners right now who are looking at the possibility that they may have an esophageal problem, an esophageal illness, which is why we cannot track where the disease is coming from.
Oh,
So I just want to let you know that. I don't know enough about it, but I do know that it's happening, and I do know that we've got guys coming looking at it. So just please be aware of that.
okay. So you're saying that they have some kind of esophageal cancer that is producing PSA.
Well,
Is that?
I don't want to call it cancer because I honestly don't
Oh,
know enough
okay.
about Barrett's esophagus to know if Barrett's esophagus is cancer or if Barrett's esophagus is some other inflammation. But when you have a proclivity of esophageal cells, more than you should have, as a result of inflammation or whatever it is, then those cells can produce PSA. So if you've got if you've got a GERD problem, an esophageal problem, and you haven't really tracked it down, like in Dr. Ed's situation, you really need to find out if there is any uh, plasticity, if there's any if there's any malevolent cells in your esophagus, because if there are, it could explain a higher than normal PSA.
Okay.
I'm not a doc. I can't give you medical advice. All I can tell you is you should be drilling down on that if you do have something that's esophageal. Just be aware of it. And it can have, and the doctors they don't mention this.
Okay. Last time over to Carly because we haven't heard from you and you're still muted. If you're having trouble with that and you can hear me, which hopefully you've stuck around all this time you're doing, you are welcome and way to contact me, Jim, at 703-338-7341. And we can maybe figure out what's your problem or what you need, or maybe you do not want to present issues on the internet because it is recorded perfectly okay, and I can try to assist you. So the offer's open. Okay, it's getting late. Anybody have any last topics to bring up? Covered a bunch of stuff here. Anybody got anything? Going once? Going twice? I'm going to stop the record.